results are quite open there to everyone to gauge. There's nothing actually to hide about it. And when hired like a coach, there's none other than results that fans or maybe the owners of whoever club that has hired you will be looking up to, other than win or maybe fairly if you happen to slip a draw. But a loss has never been accepted in any given avenue. So as to go like 4-5-3,
8 games without a win or loss, a draw.
It's
crazy.
Raises an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Even if it were you would think like the coach has come to sink your team. A team that was riding very high last season. And we knew it like a team would challenge even the best of the best in a European continent. But right now it's struggling. And if it's not taken care of as early as right now, I tell you for free, the league, it's almost approaching the half of it. By January, December, we'll be playing at the half of the league.
Yeah.
So if you don't really correct those remedies as early as right now, you might find yourself all the bigger part of second leg struggling, and which might send you back to championship. And remember, once dropping down there, coming back is not that quite easy.
It's never been a guarantee.
It hasn't. Yeah. So as to say, Postecoglou, and I literally following it right now here, and I see like Sindais was just being prepared to come in. That's the coveted replacement of Postecoglou, according to the reports that I'm getting right now. So as to say, Sindais is on the record of actually surviving teams. We saw what he did to Everton, when Everton was almost going down today, and it was fighting, and it has been docked 6 points, if you remember that point. Yes.
Yeah.
He really worked hard to ensure that Everton survives in the league, and right now as we speak, it's no longer the same Everton that we saw struggling last season. It's riding very high. It's actually chasing a run for bigger teams' money.
And right now, when you talk about Everton, they are still frustrating City is 0-0, and Sunderland has scored 1 goal against Wolves. It's on the 34th minute. Man City versus Everton, 34th minute, 0-0. FC Bournemouth has scored 1 goal against Crystal Palace. It's 1-0 for FC Bournemouth, 32nd minute. And of course, Burnley is leading against Leeds at Burnley. And Brighton, Hove and Newcastle is 0-0. So the matches which we have goals scored is of course Burnley against Leeds, the two guys who came from Division 1. It seems that Burnley is trying to get, Scott Parker is trying to get a win there. And also if you look at Sunderland, the team which came down is also frustrating Wolves, who are at the bottom of the table. And then of course the high riding Crystal Palace has been hit back by 1 from AFC Bournemouth.
Right now as it is, unlike the previous season that we have had the teams being promoted and immediately going back as if they were not to participate. So the likes of Leeds, actually, the Ipswich, when they were promoted, the same year they were promoted is the same year actually they were saying, the second year they were saying bye-bye, because our league transits between the 2 years. So as to say, this time round, I think we are going to see some of the teams that have enjoyed the services of trading at the top-notch league of EPL. One of them, either 1 or 2, being sent to relegation, going by how Sunderland and Leeds and Burnley are playing, because they are not a pushover. And we have seen how they have been grinding results even in the face of the so perceived big teams. Currently, as we say, the top 6. Okay, the league has been ballooned from the top 4, initially top 4 to top 6. And we are also seeing teams actually fighting hard even to put it at top 8, which and again makes it quite competitive.
Yes.
Very competitive. No one is guaranteed actually to finish that league in the top 8.
Yeah.
And also, no one is guaranteed to be retained in the top flight league at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's why you see the likes of Wolves are now struggling. And they need to find their boots before it's too late. Same thing is happening to Nottingham. If they don't find it right now, well, they will still be celebrated at the end of the season as the championship candidates. Coming on a match that we are following currently, the Man City and Everton, no one would think that Everton will frustrate Man City at their backyard. Remember, Man City is at home. The previous Man City was a disciplinary committee of EPL. You go there without any question to ask. You just go to collect goals and go back home. Yes. Currently, as it is, we have seen the Everton that really struggled in the bigger part of last season. They are really, giving them a run for their money. And you asked me at some points, we did talk about Pep Guardiola philosophy and how he really manages team.
Yes.
Someone will think that players who are gracing Pep Guardiola today's bench are his first 11, even including me. Who else would think that Guardiola will bench the likes of Guardiola, the likes of Bernardo Silva, the likes of Ryan Cherki, who was flying very high at Lyon, you remember?
Yes. He's really tormented Man United.
Yes. So as to say, their defensive midfield, he has decided to field Nico Gonzalez and bench Kovacic. And we saw Kovacic in the international game against when Czech Republic, Croatia was playing. He actually played in both of the matches, and he played very well. He was on form. So as to say, I don't know Omar Mamouche, who was again bought to come into pumping goals. He's still on bench. So if you are to go by this bench, where we have the likes of Johnston on bench, Mamouche on bench, Kovacic on bench, Czech on bench, Bernardo Silva on bench, Gvardiol on bench, Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, that's a first 11.
It's a first 11, actually.
But they are on bench, and he doesn't care. He still need that to play his system of rotation. And that also team, he's bringing the essence of competition among the players. That if given a chance, you need to play as Justify as Pawai, you have benched Bernardo Silva. Justify to me, as Pawai, you have benched Gvardiol.
Ryan Cherki.
You have benched Ryan Cherki, and we saw him actually at Lyon. He was a goal scorer. Even crossing over to Man City, has been scoring goals until when he got an injury. So Guardiola still carries his pride.
Individuals.
Thank you.
And of course, maybe
there's something that you mentioned in our first half of discussion, that experience also comes to fore when it matters most. You know, it's a team that went to relegation sometimes back. I think it was in 2010, 2011. No, it was in 2018 because they were there. But they have never been back again. Coming back, it means they're coming back with a different crop of players. So those players, to say, they have never been tested at a top flight league. That panic also comes. So them dropping point at the tail end of each and every competitive match they have had in this EPL, because they will play until last minute and then they end up losing with a single goal, or they play until they are actually leading but they drop a point. They says that they allow in a goal in the last minutes, within the last minutes of the game. So I think experience also comes in, and as the games proceeds, because they have quality, they are playing very well. If they start managing their game very well, within the day, they will not finish among the top most teams of the league, but they can manage to finish at least at the middle table or in a survival load, so that come next season they have now earmarked the style, the form and the stature of the team they will be facing moving forward, and then start a producing point. And also they will have identified gaps to actually fill in, so that when the window opens, maybe in the mid-season, they can bring in some player who can actually stabilize the team in those areas.
Interesting observation there, because apart from the Burnley, Bournemouth has scored a second goal,
Against Crystal Palace. Against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And remember, this Crystal Palace has been riding very high.
Oh my goodness.
It's a team that has been riding very high in EPL for the past matches that EPL it has graced.
Yeah,
so
that's
coming here, these might be
at home, first of all, Selhurst Park.
Yes. And this might be a turnaround essence for Bournemouth. Remember, it's a team that actually dropped so many players. Remember the likes of the Kakis crossing over to Liverpool, Dean Hussein leaving to Real Madrid, and those are the top-notch players, that particular team. Also, Zabani leaving to PSG, if you remember. Those were top-class players that actually that team necessarily lost. But now if it comes to a necessity that they can also start grinding points to a team like against a team like Crystal Palace, who has started very well, it means also it will give them a kind of an advantage to start believing in themselves and maybe moving forward, grinding points, and that will stabilize the Burnley that we know maybe come mid-season also, if they do 1, 2, 3 transfer business, they will now again earmark their space.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to see that Burnley, Bournemouth has scored 2 goals against Crystal Palace. It seems that this Premier League is very unpredictable this year.
It is. You can't necessarily, I always on record telling people that competitive on league does not mean that your league has teams that will go winning in each and every team they meet outside their league. But the competitive means that you cannot replace your bet on a certain team.
Yes.
Every team has the capability
to defeat you. Yeah.
And that's what the EPL has presented to us. The bottom placed team, when it's playing the topmost team, you cannot ascertain that it will be just a walk in the park.
You can't, because remember, if you take this and Nottingham Forest is a classic example.
Yes.
Remember last season we used to say, if you get to the forest, you will get lost.
Yes.
People were getting lost in the forest.
And it was
now people are clearing the forest.
No, you see, and you are saying the competitive nature of the team is that also when you start losing, I think it psychologically works on players. That mentality drops very fast. Yeah. And it is to advantage to the team that you are meeting. If you meet a team that has been losing, you come with the mentality that you will just beat them, regardless of which they are. And this is what is working to Nottingham Forest. And again, as you have said, the competitiveness nature of EPL presents the beauty of a game of football, whereby you play until the last match before you earmark or you notice your stature or your fate, if I may say so. So as to say, today is Wolves that are languishing in the relegation zone. But maybe before we realize, by mid-season, at the mid of the season, that's between December, January, you will see maybe that Wolf that we are talking about, or the Nottingham, they will have surged over, depending on how they will turn around the club. Maybe they will be at the mid of the table. And then we have another team that will continue struggling to the rest of the remaining part of the league. And that's the beauty and the commercial value that a league attracts. EPL is on record of attracting commercial stances simply because of how the teams actually keeps on moving tables around. Today a team is in relegation, tomorrow
it's on top. Yeah.
We have seen one of the giants of the EPLs actually struggling for the better seasons.
Which one?
The Giants. When I talk about
there are only 2 giants. It's like AFC.
No.
By the way, Saido, when you talk about giants, AFC Leopard is a giant. Why are you chasing AFC players in the field?
You have come back to that. You see,
because you are the one who was asking about giants. No, AFC Leopard is a giant. But the question is, why did you chase players?
It's unfortunate that things are not working as per the fans' expectation until they decided to take the mantle into their arms. I see their disappointment.
No. You cannot take action with your hands that you chase players who have just played for you, Cedric.
It's so painful to see. And you have said a giant going down easily.
No, because they're the ones bringing Manchester
and a giant going down against an easy team.
Like which one?
So Posta Rangers, surely. Drawing with the FC Leopard. Bandari traveling all the way from Mombasa to come and draw with the FC Leopard here at Nairobi.
Yes.
A team that has traveled actually presents fatigue.
Yeah.
So if it comes and collect point from you, are you really serious?
Yes,
and this is a team that has never won a league. Bandari has never won a league.
Yes.
But he's coming to torment a team that has so many league accolades.
There are only 11 league titles for AFC Leopard.
Yes, against a team that has never.
Zero league titles.
Surely. And we are talking about those 11. Which year was the last time they won? 1998.
98,
Those are 27 years. A kid that was born in 1999 is playing for this team. So as to say, if those are the players that are playing right now,
they don't
feel the pain of not winning
any trophy.
Because they are just going for, once they win a match, it's okay. We have won a match. Yeah. But us here, we don't want you to win a match. We want to win a match that culminates to winning a league. That's the pain fans are facing. And those fans that were chasing players, if you actually interrogate it very well, you will come to realize that they are not aged below 27 years. Because if you are aged 27 years, you don't feel the pain. Chances are very high, they are either 35 or 40 years. No, they are feeling because they had been tested the sweetness of winning a league, but it has been dry for so long, and they have been patient enough. I agree with them.
Yeah.
They have been patient enough. You know, the pain of next season, after season, and also the banter that comes with your fans from the other side. And you understand how those fans are from the other side. Their nature, their bloodstream is actually mad by pride. So they have kept on winning and winning, and you are losing and losing and losing. When they meet you in a certain corner, and they're like, "You guys, we have married you. You are our wife because we win day in, day out." It becomes so painful, and it's a team that you could match each other.
Yes.
You could balance trophies. When they win this season, the season was yours.
Yeah.
But it has come a time whereby they have left you so far. The gap is so big, you cannot even match them. So you see now the pain is coming from, and I'm speaking from a point of FC Leopard painful stature, because I'm a fan who has been associated by wins. Right now we have gone dry. And there's a time you mentioned about Ambani and Ndege.
Yes.
I would even prefer you inviting Ndege to this studio.
I'll bring Ambani here.
Bring Ambani here.
Let's have Ambani next week.
So that we literally hear from him.
Fred or Boniface, the chairman?
The chairman.
Fred,
of course, cannot defend himself because he's operating under a certain banner, and he cannot stand the punches that will come from the fans like me. But we need a chairman who can really accommodate
and tell us exactly what's the game plan,
exactly
what's the philosophy, and what they're looking forward to achieve.
And you know, FC, I still feel that they are borrowing it heavily from Gori. Don't let us not castigate the fans for chasing players. Whatever Gor does to their coach, when Gor started telling their coach that if you don't win their next match, you will go.
Yes,
that's where now FC Leopard borrowed that from. And they said, okay, if Gor, they have not lost.
Yes,
but they are just telling them that, okay, we have lost the first match, but if you go ahead and lose this, the second match,
you are out.
You are out. Who are we to continue
with draws?
Yeah. And I think the next thing, leave alone even chasing because there have been a talk of, Ambani, one of Ambani should be dropped and everything. But me, I'm not actually echoing that such sentiment. Me, I still feel it's just the rearrangement of this player and make them start winning, and also make them think in that particular field whenever they are on ball. Because I've watched them, their passes are not really well organized. They give away passes easily. They don't move the ball with the purposes. They don't play as the departmental, and they don't rotate in that particular pitch. When we are watching EPL, like what we are watching right now, we do understand that they can really play with several formats before the end of 90 minutes. When one format fails to really, if they started with 3 at the back, they can rearrange depending on the game and bring 4 at the back. Or even at some point, even drop 5 at the back. So as to say, FC Leopard does not play with the philosophy. Because you see FC Leopard struggling, dropping points. It was leading with 2. It has conceded 1 goal, and the game is almost coming to an end.
And then
but
they
still
concede.
Doesn't think about how to protect that win.
Yeah.
They continue playing with the style that gives loopholes at the back.
And they still get scored towards the end.
At the end. And that's the philosophy we normally talk about. If they can just talk about the philosophy and bring to the fore and make it work for them, fans will never be always yearning for their blood.
It'll put their act together and bring the great club back to the where it belongs.
And now the problem of you bros operating within the same space.
Yeah, it's
crazy. Even if they are not doing, even if they are doing it better, any single mistake will still go to nepotism.
Yeah.
You're brought here, you're bro, and you don't want to punish your bro, even if he's doing. If he was somebody else, you would have taken action.
Especially if he's your elder brother.
Yeah, you understand what it means.
Yeah. So now let's go back to EPL and the big match, of course, in the evening. The big match in the evening is, who? Our good friend Arsenal.
Yes.
Who is going to play with none other but Fulham. It's a London derby.
Yes.
And Fulham are just not an easy. Their coach is fantastic, by the way. And Fulham, if Fulham frustrates Arsenal, Arsenal are the elephants. We call them the elephant is on top of the table. And when an elephant is on top of the table, someone has put it up there. Or on top of the tree. The tree is too small. It has to come down. I don't know whether the elephant will come down the tree or
are those prayers.
No, I'm just thinking. But I wouldn't mind an elephant falling down from the tree.
It can break its limbs. So
Yeah, which is fine with me.
so heavy, and
Now I'm conflicted.
it
I'm
becomes
conflicted because if the elephant falls down and they have lost their number one supporter, Raila Odinga, how will they feel now? Double tragedy?
I literally think if they haven't mastered the art of staying on top of the log, basing on today's match, also given the essence that they are playing Fulham, as you have mentioned, Fulham rides with some quality players, the likes of Calvin Bassey, that particular team. I think Iwobi is also playing in that particular team, Castagne, and they are just from enjoying playing for their national team. And they played very well. Remember, Nigeria fought it hard to ensure that at least it qualifies for playoffs, World Cup playoffs, that is. Also, we saw after a debate that we had with you here about Belgium.
The Belgians.
Yes, Castagne did whatever he can to ensure that at least Belgium beats Wales. And I remember telling you they will beat Wales, though they are not playing good soccer, and I agree with you. They are going nowhere, even at World Cup, even if they qualify. They will qualify, but World Cup will be at the end of it. They will not advance past
Group stages. Yeah.
They don't have quality that actually makes, even our own Morocco can beat them. Leave alone even Morocco. Only preferable, even South Africa can beat Belgium as it is.
South Africa qualified.
Yeah, they did.
With the after playing
local players.
Yeah, but also remember they were docked 3 points.
Yeah, they would have qualified before that match, the final match.
Yeah.
But they still worked hard to qualify, but also thanks to Nigeria. Remember, if Benin would have beaten Nigeria, the story would have been different.
Yeah.
So Nigeria beating Benin did some of services
to South Africa. But also remember, even if South Africa beat, they did win their last game, and the Nigerians actually scored against Benin. It means that there were so many other things which were going permutation. It was not in Nigerians' hand whatsoever.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It
wasn't lucky for them, actually.
Even if they won 4-5, they were hoping that South Africa loses.
Even still, the formula is only that the formula that CAF introduced last minute that favored Nigeria. You know, if you go by without doping or dropping those points from the team at the bottom, the point you accumulated from the team at the bottom from your group, Nigeria wouldn't have qualified for playoff. Remember Burkina Faso, even their President Traore, he's actually on Argentina. One of their players has said that he will play, but when he retires, he will revisit this, even if it will have to write a book. He actually petitioned in CAF to explain deeply to them what informed them to bring up such kind of a formula whereby you drop all the points that you have accumulated from the bottom placed team from your group, and it only affected runners-up. Are you getting my argument? It's a formula that actually was structured to favor Nigeria. Reason being, Nigeria had only accumulated 2 points from Zimbabwe, who actually finished bottom from their group. Our own here, Uganda, would even have finished on the top of Nigeria because they had accumulated 6 points from Somalia. They beat Somalia home and away. So you can imagine if Uganda docked off 6 points and Nigeria, they are only docked off 2 points.
2 points, yeah.
Nigeria goes on top of Uganda. The same thing happened to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso were the prime placed team to finish among the top 4. But because of that formula, they dropped just behind Nigeria. So you can see how painful the formula was. And I don't know what informed that formula, but we are literally thinking the politics of the soccer that mars Africa. They were looking on a way to salvage
Nigeria
and make them qualify, which and again might still work against them, because remember they still have to play among Cameroon.
Yes.
They will play Gabon, Cameroon, and which other four?
They'll take 4 teams, and then they meet the others from Oceania.
Yeah, Oceania, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates, which and again I feel the Oceania is cheaper to a team that qualifies from Africa.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because Iraq, I know is a strong team because I've seen it playing World Cup at some point, but it's not strong compared to African teams.
Yeah. Interesting, their observations, Edo. Let's see the game, the other matches, how they are faring on. Of course, City halftime is still 0-0. Sunderland halftime 1-0 against Wolves. Crystal Palace 0, and of course AFC Bournemouth 2-0 for Bournemouth against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. And Burnley versus Leeds is 1-0 for Burnley, and Brighton versus Newcastle United. Finally, Brighton has hit Newcastle United.
You know, looking at this thing, some points we talk about investors. They seem not to get it. They seem to be getting it rough, because going by how people would have predicted these matches at halftime is not into their favor. Look, no one would think that Brighton and Newcastle at halftime Brighton would be leading 1-0. Going by the stature that Newcastle commands. And also look at how Sunderland are ahead of Wolves. Though we know Wolves has been struggling on the log. But and again, you would think that a team that has been promoted from Championship will not stand a better chance to really host a team that has been perennially gracing EPL. Same thing is happening to Burnley, though this is the same weight, because both of them were promoted and maybe they are used to playing each other. So it's a battle of promotion. Burnley, whoever that picks that particular, the 3 maximum point here, will have had an advantage over the other. So as to say, Burnley is enjoying the home ground advantage and it's ahead of Leeds. It's quite an interesting story that is bound to happen today.
It's actually interesting because if you look at the score lines, you find that the many teams are now struggling to get the results, but the ones who are getting are home teams, apart from actually the only away team which is winning is Bournemouth.
Yes.
The rest are home teams and they're taking the home team advantage. And also in the earlier game, of course, Nottingham Forest lost at home to Chelsea. So there are only 2 games away today with the matches which people are winning from, the away teams are winning. The rest, the home teams are leading, but Man City versus Everton is still in the balance. Of course, Man City is 0 and Everton 0. We are looking forward to Fulham versus Arsenal, and we are hoping that Arsenal can do the honourable thing and defeat Fulham. But remember, it's a derby. It can go either way. It's a London derby.
True.
And of course, we know that Arsenal fans are going to pray for a good send-off to Raila Odinga in that match. But it is what it is. You never know, because 90 minutes is a very long time in football.
Correct.
So I think we take a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the second half of how the games have gone. Keep listening. Is, of course, none other than The Pitch Side with Cedric Musumba and myself, CEO Charles Otieno, every single Saturday, where we unpack for you very complex football analysis into the most interesting storylines for you to understand and to chill with. Keep listening.